When you hear the word treasure, what do you think? Maybe it's pirates. Maybe it's chests full of gold. Maybe it's Bruno Mars. Or maybe it stirs something deep inside your soul that causes you to feel a little anxious, but in a good way. Your skin gets cool, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and your mind is focused. Treasures have been turned into this unrealistic and fancified version of what they actually are. And nobody believes them to be anything more than a nice story. For example, if you told your mom or dad or friends you were going looking for a treasure, how do you think they'd react?
You serious?
Not very well. That's because we've been programmed to believe that some things are ridiculous while others are acceptable. But if you knew some of the ways that people have found millions of dollars worth of gold just by going on a walk, or found caches of gold coins by volunteering, you'd be astounded. So let's get into the treasures found and the treasures still left to be found. And after today's video, if I've done my job right, you're going to hear the word treasure and think. If you're looking for adventure, then you've come to the right spot. I talk about history, folklore, and that little gray area in between. Now, my favorite history is about lost treasures and the stories that surround them, because to me there's nothing more exciting and epic than the idea of getting on a plane, flying off to some remote island in the hopes of discovering a lost pirate treasure hoard. However, it can be a little discouraging that all the treasures I've talked about are still lost. So these are a few recovered treasures and the people that have found them. So that way you don't feel too discouraged on your pursuit of adventure. Because there's actually gold and silver artifacts being discovered all the time. You just never get to hear about it.
Just this year on August 18th, an 1100-year-old treasure was unearthed on excavation by a group of teenagers. They volunteered to help with the construction of a future neighborhood. They had absolutely no idea that they would find this. This is what Oz Cohen, one of the teenagers, had to say about uncovering the treasure. It was amazing. I dug in the ground, and when I excavated the soil, I saw what looked like very thin leaves. When I looked again, I saw these were gold coins. It was really exciting to find such a special and ancient treasure.
And this was just an accident. They didn't plan on going out and looking. Sometimes adventure can literally just be a simple choice of volunteering.
This is one you may have heard of. It's fairly popular and well known due to the nature of the find. In the early 90s, a British farmer, Peter Watling, had lost his hammer. So he called his buddy over to help him find it. He asked him to use his metal detector to look around a specific area so that he could retrieve it. So he goes out there and starts scanning this area, and he finds it, or at least he thinks he does. He realizes that there's something buried in the ground, and he starts to dig until he finds a wooden chest crafted from oak, and within this chest, the two men discovered spoons and forks. Except these weren't just the run-of-the-mill forks and spoons you get at a store. They were made of gold and silver.
They were dated back to the 4th and 5th century, which means they were likely Roman made. And after some more digging by a team of archaeologists, this was confirmed after they had found ladles and bowls.
A Californian couple was out for a typical walk, and they'd been out on this walk before. However, this time they just so happened to look in the perfect spot, at the perfect angle, at the perfect time. They noticed an old rusty can that had a stash of gold coins inside of it. The couple started looking around, and they continued to find cans of gold coins. They found so many that it totaled $10 million worth of gold coins. They were dated back to the 19th century. However, they never gave up where they found them. But the idea that you could constantly be walking by lost treasure, and all it takes is for you to pick up your face out of your phone to find it, is incredible. But not right now though. Keep your face on the screen, because we're going to go over a few life-changing treasures that you can still go out and find.
But also, just reflect on these 3 individual incidents. They happened all across the world, and you don't need to be an archaeologist to have found them. They were literally found by a group of teenagers, a farmer and his buddy with a metal detector, and a couple that was just out for a walk. So for those of you that watch my videos often, first off, thank you. And secondly, I'm including this because it's the absolute easiest entrance into treasure hunting. You have multiple gemstones hidden across multiple states in the US and in Canada. So if you live in South Carolina, you don't have to drive to Florida or New York to go on a treasure hunt. You have one in your state already. In total, 12 casks were buried, but only 3 have been recovered. In total, the gems were said to be worth around $10,000, but that was before this hunt became a big deal. Nowadays, there's no telling how much a private collector may pay for a piece of the Byron Price treasure hunt. It's also super easy to start. You just purchase the book, The Secret, A Treasure Hunt, and you use the poems and the clues and the pictures to find your way to the treasure cask.
But if you're ready to get started treasure hunting right this second, then I have a link that takes you directly to the book on Amazon. For less than $30, you can start treasure hunting right from home. And yes, it is an affiliate link, so I do get a little kickback if you purchase through it.
So we've covered an American treasure, but what about the other parts of the world? Well, you'll be happy to hear that in the woods of France, an owl has been hidden. And if you can manage to find it, you'll be rewarded with 1 million francs, which is about a little over 1 million American dollars. In order to find it, you'll have to use a book that was written by a man under the alias of Max Valentine. He created this puzzle with the expectation of it being found within months of its publish. However, it's been nearly 3 decades, and the treasure still remains unclaimed. The owl that you'll end up finding is a large bronze replica of the actual owl. The golden owl is being held by a legal protector in Paris, France. The prize is something magical. Just imagine having this be your centerpiece on your dining room table or even on a mantle. The statuette is 10 inches high, 20 inches wide, and weighs 33 pounds. It's made entirely out of gold and silver with diamonds on the head. Max Valentine spent a total of 450 hours to create the textual clues and hints, which when combined would allude to the final location of the golden owl. This isn't an easy puzzle to solve, but there's few things in life that are worth having that come easy.
But maybe you want a challenge. Perhaps you don't want an owl or a treasure cask. Maybe you want something far more precious.
According to the legend, the Lost Dutchman's gold mine is filled with raw gold in the American Southwest. Jacob Waltz is the man who supposedly found it, but he never gave out its location. Without getting into the story too much, we can't help but wonder, where is this lost mine? If the stories and rumors are true, they're off in the Superstition Mountains and Lost Dutchman National Park. However, because the story isn't something specific, we can't assess the value. Perhaps there's several thousands worth of gold, or maybe several billions. Or maybe it's nothing but a fanciful tale that I'll have to cover in the future. If you'd like to see that, then be sure to subscribe so that way you don't miss out. Also, if you'd like to steal my look, there's 3 affiliate links down below. I do get a little kickback if you purchase through my links, so that's highly appreciated. They're for my hat, bag, and boots, and I genuinely love every single one of these items and consider them necessary for everyday hiking, adventures, and more.
I'll cover all my gear in depth in the future if you want to see that. Just let me know in the comments. But until then, YouTube told me to show you this. So check it out, and I'll see you there.